Good morning, everyone. This is Saurabh from Quick Heal Technologies. Thank you for joining us for this webinar on 7 internet security mistakes and how can you prevent them. This webinar will be presented by Mr. Nikhil Mori. Nikhil is an online marketing manager at Quick Heal Technologies Private Limited and has 9 years of experience into digital marketing and a passion for technology, usability, and photography. Nikhil is also a recognized expert in the internet marketing strategies for the antivirus industry. At Quick Heal, Nikhil is associated with the cybersecurity program, which is the company's corporate social responsibility initiative. I will now hand over the proceedings of this webinar to Nikhil.
Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to today's webinar on 7 internet security mistakes and how can you prevent them. This topic was chosen on public demand, where a lot of people had asked us about, small things that they should consider when being on internet, which may lead to major problems. Also, you would note a change that this time we have conducted a webinar on a Friday instead of Wednesdays. This is again on public demand, where people have requested us to keep host the webinars on Fridays, where they would like to attend these webinars on Friday. So that's the reason we have made these changes. Uh, s- I will set up a few ground rules here before I begin the webinar. Uh, the recording video to this webinar will be shared with you over an email post this webinar, and also uh, the presentation for this webinar will also be shared with you in a separate email. Uh, Post this webinar, we would have a question and answer session where you can ask me questions about this webinar for the topics that we would be covering in this webinar. And also, if you have any questions later, you can write to us at corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in, where we will try our best to answer these questions for you. Now, without any further ado, let's start with today's webinar. So, what is the ground that we'll be covering today? So, it's the uh, 7 internet mistakes and how can you prevent them. What would be covering here is the basics of computer security, the very basics, uh, 7 internet security mistakes and how can you prevent them, uh, top computer security actions, and last but the most important part is how does Quick Heal help you in this entire journey. Basics of what is computer security. Computer security is protection of your computing system, which means your laptops, desktops, uh, mobile phones, tablet PCs, anything which you use today for your computing is your computing device. And the most important part is the data stored in these devices. So, a security of that data and the physical device itself, both together comprises of computer security. Very little in computing is inherently secure because devices today cannot protect themselves against all security threats all by themselves. They need some intervention from the user to enhance the security of that device and most of all the data included in that devices. The software cannot protect itself and the networks can be protected better than the software. What are the 7 deadly internet security mistakes that people make? So, simply installing an antivirus software on your PC cannot guarantee your online safety. Internet security is on an ongoing process where you need to stay on guard against the latest threats. These are the 7, of which the first one is trusting unknown emails. So, do you tend to trust unknown emails that ask you to click links or download attachments? If you're saying the answer is yes, then you may be one of those people who may fall a prey to an infected email. If you see on your screen, this is something that is talking about a huge sum of money that you've won in a sweepstake, and this kind of gives you a hint that this has come from Facebook. Now, when you come across such kind of emails, the first question that you should be asking to yourself is, what have you done uh, to deserve to win such kind of money? Have you participated in any contest? Have you, been communicated that you are will be participating in a contest where you could win such amount of money? These are the few questions that you will be asking to yourself. Second, go to the email and check for hints to check if this is genuine. Now, if you look at the from part, which is highlighted in the red portion, it's the from address from whom you have received this email. It looks shady, okay? Because if you have received an email from QuickHeal, then the domain from which you have received the email would be either it will be quickheal.com, like for example, the email address that I just told you a few minutes back before, email address where you can write us, it's corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in. So this is where you can take a hint from. If it has come from Facebook, it'll be named as facebook.com. Okay. Second is uh, the subject line. Congratulations, your Facebook account won. So here you need to ask yourself, what is it that you have done on your Facebook account to deserve to win such an huge amount of money? I'm sure you have heard about in our past webinars, we have also spoken about these scams, the phishing scams, where the most famous of all is the Nigerian lottery scam, where you've been informed that you in such and such sweepstake or such and such, and they take names of huge companies like Coca-Cola, companies like Mercedes-Benz, or company like Facebook, whom you can easily trust upon. So they use these names to gain your trust, and then they ask you to transfer some amount of money to to a bank account located somewhere overseas. And people who are not aware of these scams, they fall prey to this, and they do transfer such amount of money to these scamsters, to these fraudsters, to these web criminals, and lose that money. So what is the solution here? If you receive such kind of an email and you sure you haven't done anything of that sort to participate in such contests, just delete those emails. Never click on the links that are provided in these emails. Don't provide information about you or your bank account, or any information which I can say is a personally identifiable information. Do not share that, and just delete that email. Going forward, leaving your Wi-Fi open. Now, I'm sure all of us use smartphones and smart devices to connect to the internet using the Wi-Fi connection. Now, you need to ask yourself, when you are connecting your device to the internet using Wi-Fi, how secure is this connection? Some people might ask, is it relevant that this connection needs to be secure when I'm connected to the internet? The answer is yes. The connection needs to be secure, and the only reason is when you have a secure connection, then the eavesdroppers are basically cyber criminals who uh, who create instances such as open Wi-Fi so that they can listen to your communication. Whatever you're interacting on your device over Wi-Fi can be seen by them. Say, for example, if you are shopping using an unsecure Wi-Fi connection, then intruders might be able to gain access to your financial details, to your personal identifiable information, and this information is used for cyber crimes. You might not know the dangers of it right then and there, but probably somewhere in the near future, when your credit card information or debit card information is being misused against your will and wish, then you realize that this was a fraudster who stole that data from you. So whenever you are using a Wi-Fi connection, make sure the Wi-Fi is secure, it's password protected with a strong encryption, so that nobody can uh, you know eavesdrop on the communication or the data transfer that you are doing using the Wi-Fi. Downloading freeware. Now, free software are the first love of netizens, but they also are the favorite medium of attackers to hack into your system. Freeware that do not have verified publishers are always a bad news because they usually come with hidden malicious programs like spyware that steal your personal information and send it to the hackers without your knowledge. I'm sure you must have seen this particular message where you've been asked to download the latest version of a very popular app for free. Uh, Mind you, these invitations do come from unverified sources. Unverified sources, like for example, if I am saying what is an unverified source or unverified destination from which you can download software, is in case of an Android phone, any source other than Google Play is an unverified source. For Apple devices, if I say any source other than your iStore is an unverified source where the danger of downloading a software and that software being infected with a malware which is hidden inside the genuine looking software, but it is actually meant to steal information from you and pass it on to the hackers without your knowledge or consent. Not only this, but these imposters not only you know share your personal identifiable information, but also they gain access to the device information like your phone book, and may compromise the details of your friends even who which is being stored in your phone book or your address book, and share it with the hackers. This information again is used by these hackers to send messages to others, your friends, uh, impostering it to be from you, where your friends would easily believe such kind of email messages. If you come across a message where you think it has come from an unverified source, or it's you need to check if the software that you're downloading is from a genuine developer or a genuine company, the best way to do it is, before installing the software, check for who's the publisher. Now, this is a screen that would come to you if you're using it on a mobile phone device. It will tell you who the developer of that app is, because when you go to Google Play or you go to iStore, you check the description of the app, you will see who's the developer of that app. Here, the developer can be known very easily. When you're talking about desktops or laptops, before you install a program, a small pop-up window appears where it says that XYZ is the developer of this software, and do you want to proceed with installation of this software. Now, in case of any Quick Heal software, you will see the publisher as Quick Heal Technologies is the publisher of the software. In case of any software which, for the most widely given example, is the Adobe PDF Reader. So here it will be showing you that the person or the publisher of this app is Adobe Technologies. Moving ahead, using an outdated software. Now, is your Windows updated or is it set to update automatically? Do you regularly update your internet browsers and the programs in your computer? If your answer is no, then your PC might be at an increased risk of getting attacked or getting compromised. This is because an outdated operating system and programs have unpatched software weaknesses, which is called as vulnerabilities, which can be easily explored by attackers. Now, just to give you a simple idea, whenever you have a software patch or update that is released by these publishers, what are these patches is they have identified uh, you know ways in which the hackers or the cyber criminals can use these vulnerabilities against its own users. So the users of this software, their security, their information can be compromised by these hackers. And in order to stop that, they release these patches. So what are these patches? These patches are nothing but a protection information protocol, which basically protects your information. It adds an extra layer of security to the app so that your data, your information is not compromised. The solution to this is very simple. Set your Windows updates to automatic. You need to go to a Windows control panel, and from there you'll be able to do it easily using the Windows update. Update all your internet browsers and check if updates are available for all your programs that you're using. It's very simple to do it. Uh, for example, if you're using any browser, you just need to go to the browser options, the settings where you need to find updates. There's an option called as check for updates. Just need to click that button, and if there are updates available, it will automatically download and will install. Moving forward, using the same password for all your accounts. Now, this is a uh, very delicate situation. I know it is convenient for you to use one password for all your accounts, but imagine if your house key could be used to open your garage, your bank locker, your car, your safe, everything you use one key. How terrible would it be? Losing this key means compromising the security of all your assets. So the same theory applies when you use one password to all your applications you use. Multiple online accounts having the same password is not a recommended thing. It's not a best practice to be used. You should always have a strong and a unique password for every important account. Say, for example, if you are using internet banking and you're using uh, a social media network site, now I understand the vulnerabilities and the security importance of both these sites is equally important. And therefore, the passwords to both these sites needs to be very strong. We have spoken about this in our past webinars also, where we mentioned what do you mean by strong password. So a strong password would be a combination of letters into a lowercase and uppercase, numbers, special characters. Now special characters are, if you see the numeric keys on a keypad, using the shift button, you can convert the number one into a hashtag, number two into the at symbol. So use these special characters, uppercase, lowercase, and numbers, and have a password which is not easily recognized by people. Recently, last year, we have spoken about the 10 worst passwords to use, which maximum number of people use on when accessing online accounts. These passwords could be using one single digit several number of times, like using 1111111. uh, Not a good thing to do, not a very intelligent thing to do. Use a strong password. I'll share with you how do I use a password. Say for example, if I'm going to need a password, a very strong one, then I would remember a quote from any famous person and probably pick words, the first characters of every word from that quote, and create a password. Say for example, uh, if I'm talking about a famous quote by Bernard Shaw where he said, "History is not about the one who is right; it's about the ones who are left." So I would take the first letters of all words in this quote and create one password of it. Now I remember this quote because it is Bernard Shaw is somebody whom I like very much as a writer, and he's a good author. So I remember him forever. So I would remember this code forever. So remembering the password is also not a problem. This is my way of doing it, although you can use different ways of creating strong passwords. Two-factor authentication. I'm not sure if all of us have gone through this, but two-factor authentication is something very important. These days, all major app providers and social media sites use two-factor authentication. Now, to tell you simply what two-factor authentication is you use two different levels of authentication to log into your account. What are the two ways? One is your username and a password. So even if your username and a password is compromised, then you are sent an one-time password on your mobile phone device. So when you sign up for a two-factor authentication, it asks you for your mobile phone number, and every time you would like to log into your account using your new username and password, it would send a one-time password to your mobile phone device. So this is like adding an additional layer of security where, say for example, somebody manages to hack into your system and steal your username and password, but having this two-factor authentication, he'll still not be able to get into your account because he would never get that one-time password which comes to your mobile phone. So you need to turn on these two-factor authentication for all your online accounts. What we have mentioned on your screen right now is how can you find more information about two-factor authentication for Gmail, for Twitter, for Facebook, for LinkedIn, for Yahoo. There are two-factor authentications available beyond this as well. You need to check if there is a two-factor authentication, which you can use for your account. I know this for sure that all services of Google come with a two-factor authentication because Gmail does provide, which is a part of Google services. Moving ahead, sharing too much online. Now, do you have an uncontrollable impulse of sharing your vacation plans, your new credit card number, your house address, school address, phone number, other personal information on the internet? If the answer is yes, then uh, this is something that should worry you. This habit of yours might land you into trouble. Sharing such information online, such as on public forums or blogs or social media sites, may make it vulnerable for stalkers or cyber criminals. It's not difficult for them to steal people's identity using personal details. Now, let me share with you a very uh, unique case that had come to us where somebody on Twitter had shared their vacation plans, uh, and they mentioned even the place from where they're flying, his home address, to the destination where he's flying, to the place, the hotel where he's going to stay in the vacation place, and the duration of his stay as well. Now, this all information was read by the world and also by the one who robbed his house. So this was an open invitation to the robber to break into his house and steal things. Now, this is on a lighter note, but imagine such kind of information where you share. I'm sure everybody loves to share about their personal life with their friends, but don't use social media, don't use internet to share everything. You know, if I'm going out on a vacation, I would call up a few friends and tell them about my plans, not put it on Facebook. What is private information? What should not be shared? We have received a lot of questions about this even in the past, that what is a personal information which cannot be shared or which should not be shared. Your name is one of them, date of birth, your phone number, your school address, your home address. Uh, if the government has given you some uh, personal identifiable numbers, such as in India we have something called as Aadhaar card, or we have a PAN number. For people in the US, they have the social security number. Likewise, for different countries, they have different numbers given by the government themselves. So all these numbers are your personal identifiable information, which should not be shared online. What you should also not share online is where your parents work or your photos with you. You know, if you have to share your photos, you can share it individually with your friends. If you want to do it on Facebook, then you can restrict who can see those photos also. Now, to give you a little bit of glimpse on what why you should not share a lot of information on these social media sites, let me give you an example of Facebook. Now, Facebook has talked about privacy of information. They have mentioned this on their website, which is facebook.com/about/privacy. What kind of information does Facebook collect? Now, depending on which services you use, Facebook collects different kind of information from or about you. First is things you do and information you provide. So they collect the content and other information you provide when you use Facebook services, including when you sign up for the account, create or share, and message or communicate with others. This can include information in and about the content you provide, such as location of a photo or the date or a file was created. They also collect information about how you use Facebook services, such as the type of content you view and engage with, or frequency and duration of your activities. Things others do and the information they provide. They also collect content and information that other people provide when they use Facebook services. This includes information about use, uh, such as when they took a photo of you, or this when they sent a message of you, or a message to you, or upload or sync or import contact information. Next is your networks and connections. Facebook collects information from the people and the groups you are connected to and how you interact with them, such as people you communicate with the most and the groups you like to share with. They also collect contact information you provide if you upload, sync, or import this information, such as address book from your device. Information about payments. If you use Facebook services to purchase or do financial transactions, like when you buy something on Facebook, make a purchase in a game, or make a donation, they collect information about the purchase or transactions. This includes your payment information such as your credit card, your debit card number, and other card information, and other account and authentication information, as well as billing, shipping, and contact details. Device information. They collect information about or from the computers, phones, and other devices you install or access Facebook services depending on the permissions you have granted them. They may associate this information they collect from your different devices, which helps them provide consistent services across your devices. Here are some examples of the device information they collect. Attributes such as operating system, hardware version, device settings, software names and types, battery signal and strength, device identifiers. Then they also collect information about your device location, including geographic locations using services such as GPS, Bluetooth, or Wi-Fi signals. Connection information such as your name on your mobile operator or ISP, that's Internet Service Provider, browser type, language, and time zone, mobile phone numbers, and your IP address. Information from websites and apps that use Facebook services. They collect information when you visit or use third-party websites and apps that use Facebook services, like when they offer the like button or Facebook login or use their measurement and advertising services. This includes information about the websites and the app you visit or use their services on those websites and apps, as well as information the developer or publisher of the app or website provides to you or to them. Last but not the least, information from third party partners. They receive information about you and your activities on and off Facebook from third party partners, such as information from a partner when they jointly offer services, or from an advertiser about your experiences or interactions with them. Do keep in mind this information that we shared about Facebook is not to scare you, but to advise you that whenever you're sharing information on these social media sites, be careful about what you share, because once you have shared, it's like it's a digital print which stays forever, which cannot be removed. So before you share anything on these social media sites, be very careful. Let's move on to the top computer actions that you need to take uh, when you use internet. As I said earlier, set up your computer for automatic software and operating system updates. An unpatched machine is more likely to have a software vulnerability that can be exploited. Install a security software. I'm sorry. When installed, the software should be sent to scan your files and update your virus definitions on a regular basis. So as I said about patching your applications when you're using internet to advance the security measures for the apps that you use. The same way when you install an antivirus, these antivirus softwares needs to be updated with the latest virus definitions that are released on a regular interval by these antivirus providers. Next is choosing a strong password. Choose a strong password with letters, numbers, and special characters to create a mental image or an acronym that is easy for you to remember. I give you an example of a quote. You can use it, you can use a song, or you can use a dialogue that is from a famous Hollywood or a Bollywood movie. You can create a password for each important account and change your passwords importantly. This is a very important point that I would like to stress upon here. Once you've created a strong password, uh, changing these passwords on a regular interval, say for example every 15 days or every month, makes these softwares virtually unstealable. Because if you even if somebody tries to, and has managed to know your password, if you change the password in the next 15 days, again the password is changed, you have added additional security to your device. Most important, backup your machine regularly, and this can protect you from unexpected threats. Keep a few months of worth of backup and make sure your files can be retrieved if needed. You can use the cloud services to use a backup feature, like in the Quick Heal Total Security for Android software. We provide a backup feature for all your information on your phone book or on your gallery of your mobile device to be stored on cloud. Control access to your machines. Don't leave your computer in an unsecured area or unattended or locked on, especially in public places. The physical security of your machine is just as important as your technical security. Again, in public places, if you're using free Wi-Fi, make sure you're not doing important uh, transactions or online shopping using free Wi-Fi zones, because that may lead up to compromising your financial details to hackers. Use email and internet safely. Ignore unsolicited emails or be wary of attachments, links, and forms in emails that come from people you don't know, which seems to be fishy. Avoid untrustworthy, often free downloads from freeware or shareware sites. Protect insensitive data. Reduce the risk of identity theft. Securely remove sensitive data files from your hard drive, which is also recommended when recycling or repurposing your computer. Use the encryption tools built in your operating system to protect sensitive files you need to retain. Say, for example, if you are done with your laptop and you are planning to replace it with a new one in an exchange offer that you're getting from your dealer, you need to make sure that all important data from your laptop needs to be backed up first, because you would need to put it in your new laptop. Secondly, the most important thing is that data needs to be wiped away clean from your laptop so that even with the use of a recovery tool, the person who's buying your old laptop will not be able to recover any data. This is a special tip for all those who store important financial data on their laptops. You cannot just give away somebody your old laptop without securely deleting those files. With the Quick Heal Total Security for desktop, we have a secure delete feature which helps you remove these files to such a secure level that even a recovery software cannot recover these files. Next thing is use a desktop firewall. Macintosh and Windows computers have basic desktop firewalls as a part of their operating systems. When set up properly, these firewalls protect your computer files from being scanned. Use secure connections. When connected to the internet, your data can be vulnerable while in transit. Use remote connectivity and secure file transfer options. So whenever you are sharing your data with anyone, don't use unsecure connections where the eavesdroppers can drop in to your unsecured line and read all the communication that is going from your device to somebody else. If you are using your corporate network, then use VPN connections, to securely connect with your office server and share data very securely so that no hacker can hack into that secure connection and steal your data there. Moving on, how does QuickHeal help to ensure computer security? So the QuickHeal Total Security software has quite a few options where it helps you secure your computer against these threats. The first is the advanced DNA scan technology. The QuickHeal DNA scan technology is now enhanced to combine behavioral and characteristic inspection and monitoring of malicious programs. This results in clean, more up-to-date, and accurate threat detection. User can select from three levels of detection. After detecting any suspicious behavior, the behavior detection system suspends further activities of the application and prompts user with allow and block options. If the application is blocked, the application is terminated and its executable file is quarantined. Behavior detection systems options can be configured from files and folders in the advanced DNA scan. There are three defined levels of detection that the users can select from. Namely, first is high. So in this, the behavior detection system will closely monitor the behavior of running application and will alert if any unusual application behavior is noticed. In a moderate setting, the behavior detection system will alert if any suspicious activity of an running application is noticed, and in the low connection, behavior detection system will alert only if malicious activity of a running application is noticed. The second and most important is safe banking. Now, the safe banking feature, which is introduced in the QuickHeal Total Security software, a very important tool that will protect you not only from doing a secure transaction, but will always protect you from any hacker or a malware that is trying to steal your financial information. So the safe banking feature is designed to protect your online banking activities from fraudulent websites and malicious programs that steal financial information. This antivirus feature provides you with a safe desktop session where your financial transactions on banking portals, shopping, and other e-commerce websites stay private and hidden from hackers. You can launch Safe Banking by clicking its shortcut on a desktop. You will be taken to a private session where you can shop and bank online securely. Core protection. This assures a complete protection of your PC with a deep system scan through antivirus, anti-spyware, anti-malware, anti-rootkit, silent firewall, intrusion detection and prevention systems. Now, all of this systems that I've mentioned are vulnerabilities or malwares, threats to your computer systems. These are basically softwares that are used to steal information from your system. Say, for example, an anti-malware, it scans the registry on files and folders at a lightning speed, detecting and cleaning spywares, adwares, roguewares, dialers, riskwares, and other potential threats, detects and removes potentially unwanted programs or applications, which is more popularly known as PUAs. Firewall protection. This works silently in the background and monitors network activity from viruses, spywares, and other malicious agents. Using intrusion detection system, it detects harmful network activity, and the intrusion prevention system prevents malicious network activity. Browser sandbox. The browsing in a secure interface is what is the function of the browser sandbox. Running your web browser in a sandbox browser gives you an uninterrupted, secure browsing experience. It provides internet security by acting like a screen between the PC's operating system and malicious threats on the internet. Web security. It's a real-time cloud-based security, restricts access to malware-infected, fraudulent, and phishing websites. This provides you three layers of security. One is browsing protection, which protects your desktop and laptop from malicious online threats. Anti-phishing, it automatically scans web pages that you surf the internet for fraudulent activity to protect you against any phishing attack. And a zero-day protection, which protects your system or computer from zero-day threats which presently do not have any solution. Email security. Quick Heal Total Security gives you a cloud-based email security that prevents spam, phishing, and infected emails from reaching your inbox. Anti-spam blocks spam and phishing, junk, or other unwanted emails from reaching your inbox. This uses live cloud-based protection to check suspicious files, restricting malware before it reaches your inbox. Lastly, vulnerability scanner. This is a proactive antivirus feature that notifies you of critical vulnerability that can be used by an hacker to compromise your PC and data stored in it. This feature also helps you fix these vulnerabilities. This feature runs in the background as soon as you initiate a full scan on your PC. This brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you very much for attending today's webinar. In case you have any questions, you can write to us at corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in. If you would like to follow us on Facebook, the address is facebook.com/quickhealav. On Twitter, it is twitter.com/quickheal. On YouTube, it is youtube.com/quickheal, where the video of this webinar would be hosted. On Google Plus, it is bit.ly/quickheal Google Plus. If you would like to see this presentation, it would be hosted on SlideShare, and the address is slideshare.net/quickhealppts. To know more about Quickheal products, please visit quickheal.com. If to know more about the security world, visit blogs.quickheal.com. We would now begin with the question and answer session. Okay, let me pull up questions for you. Okay. So we have a question from Vipin Sharma. Suppose I want to purchase online something, but sometimes it's seen that the transaction gets failed. What security instructions we follow and how to disable history during online transactions? So Bipin, there are three things that I would like to mention here. The first thing is whenever you are doing an online transaction, check the reputation of the website or the app if you're doing a transaction via your mobile phone. Now, it always helps to check the reputation of the website or the app, because if there is any fraudulent activity that has been happening on that app, it will be reported. The second thing that I would like to say is whenever you are shopping online on any of the shopping sites, make sure that the moment you enter the shopping site, before you enter your financial transactions, the page needs to be a secure page, which by this I mean that the page URL, if you check the URL of the page, it needs to begin with HTTPS. S here stands for secure. So any information you put in that page will be encrypted and nobody will be able to decrypt or know what information you have placed there. The third important thing that I would like to stress again is if you are unsure, use the Quick Heal Safe Banking option. Now, when you use this option, this will help you keep your financial information safe from any of the hackers or from any malware also. I hope this helps you answer the question. Uh, I'm not sure. I have a question from Mohammed Arshad Baluwala. What is the procedure for a secure connection? Uh, to answer your question, Mr. Mohammed, if I understand correctly, if you're talking about a secure Wi-Fi connection, make sure that the Wi-Fi that you are connected to is a password protected and has a strong encryption. It's so easy to say. If you come across a connection which is an unsecured connection, which is not authenticated or proofed, then anyone can hack into or know what actions you're doing through these unsecure Wi-Fi connections. I hope this answers your question. I have a question from Jasmy. He says, I've come across this app called as Secure Wireless by Disconnect Inc. It's regarding VPN to stop wireless eavesdropping. Any comments? Uh, we would like to come back to you with this, answer to this question, Jazz. But if you're talking about using a VPN connection to connect to your office server securely, then you have many other options to for a secure VPN. Do check with your IT administrator if he authenticates the security of such a VPN application. If you would like to use to connect to your office server using this app, if that helps. If you have more questions, please do write to us and we will try and answer them. Is that any harm in using a free app available in iStore? This question is asked by Mr. Mayank Kumar Patel. So, Mr. Patel, the thing is, there's no harm in using a free app, but make sure that you have checked for who the publisher of that app is. Make sure what is the permissions that any app is using. Say, for example, I am using an app which is basically a gaming app, and if that gaming app is asking for a device administrator permission, then why does a gaming ad need a device administrator permission? Because a device administrator is something that controls everything and anything about that device. These control permissions are required either by the operating system of that device, or it's required by security applications like an antivirus, so that nobody should be able to get hold of the root folder of that device, because if you have a control over the root folder, then you can control the entire device. So if a gaming application is asking for those kind of permissions, that's not required. They should give you a hint that such application is can be with a malicious intent, created with a malicious intent, and it's better to stay away, because I believe in this principle called we say is prevention is better than cure. Vinay Kale has asked us a question. Can you share the presentation after the webinar? Definitely, Vinay. We would be hosting this presentation on slideshare.net/quickheal PPTs. You can definitely visit this site and see these presentations. Not only this, but all the presentations that we have hosted in the past, you can see them. Suresh Achari has asked us a question. What may be the problem if I use one password for all accounts? Well, Suresh, as we said in the presentation earlier, if you are using one password for all your accounts, it means that you are using one key to open all the locks in your house and your car and your garage and your bank's safety box. If that key is lost, then the security to all these devices is also lost. The same principle is applied if somebody gets to know your password, and if he accidentally uses those passwords to other accounts of yours, then he basically gets access to all your accounts. So this should not be done. You should use separate passwords, strong passwords for each account, and keep changing these passwords on a frequent basis. We have DB who has asked us a question. Hackers can still crack passwords, so what we can do to safeguard on online hack? Well, there are, if you use a strong password, then, and if you keep changing those passwords, then you're adding extra layers of security by doing it. Again, if you use a two-step authentication method here, so you are adding another layer of security, because even if your username and password is compromised, but you still have your mobile phone device with you, and if that device any of the one-time passwords that are sent to your mobile device, so even if by a misfortune you lose your credentials to your account, you still can be protected if you have a two-factor authentication. If that helps answer this question. If you have more questions, please do write to us. We'll be more than happy to answer it. How can we remember multiple passwords? It's not safe to write them anywhere else. Anandya Agarwal has asked this question. Well, definitely we agree with you. Never write down these passwords. An easy way that I use, I've told you, I have some favorite authors who have said quotes. I use those quotes as use words, the first letters from every word to create a password. I like a few Bollywood songs. I would use first letters from the words of that song to create a password. Likewise, you may have a favorite movie, you may have a favorite movie star, you may have your pet's name. You can have a combination of this used together and create a strong password here. Remember, a password needs to be in a small character, in a capital character, number, special character, a mix of everything. That makes it stronger. And this password, if you keep on changing, then it adds an additional layer of security to your system. Let's move ahead. Passwords. As an internet user, we all have at least a dozen of usernames and corresponding passwords. It's hard to remember all different username and password which are completely different. Any way out of it? Password managers. Jasmine has asked this question. Well, if you're planning to use a password manager, make sure that the password manager is secure enough. Uh, it has to be encrypted. Any information you put there has to be encrypted. But I would say more than relying on technology, if you could rely on your own, develop your own techniques and try and remember passwords, by the technique I've shared with you, it's more easy and convenient that way. I hope this answers your question. Vikas Das has asked us a question. Do I need to use separate password for Facebook and for Gmail? Definitely, Vikas, you should be using a different password for Facebook and Gmail, and to all other social networking sites you use. You should have a separate password. Don't use a common one. How to find someone using our information even having licensed total security antivirus? What precautions should we take when do some financial transactions online? So Naresh Tholia has asked us this question: how to be sure that the transactions or the shopping or the online banking that you're doing is safe and secure? I've answered this question earlier. Use the online safe banking feature in the Quick Heal Total Security. This will help you not only protect your information from hackers but also from malware. If you don't have my mobile phone at the time of login, will I be able to log into my Gmail? Vikas Das has asked this question. Well, Vikas, to answer your question, uh, there is I mean, I'm sure you're talking about two-factor authentication here. In case you're not carrying your mobile phone with you, you can still write down. There's a feature in two-factor authentication where you can write down few of the passwords and you can keep them with you. This is a feature available with Google for sure, where you can keep a note of few passwords which can be used for authentication, for a two-factor authentication. Yes. Uh, Okay. Milind has asked us this question. For iStore purchases, they do not ask for passwords after the first transaction. How is this to be trusted, and how do I ensure that they are required to ask my transaction password or OTP? So, Milind, if you are referring to saving your credit card details on an iStore and making transactions, well, there is, one thing you can do is make sure that your phone apps, uh, the app for iStore is protected, and not everyone has an access to, the iStore. Your phone device itself has a locking feature that you can lock your device and also lock apps inside. So always keep your device locked so that there is no accidental purchase, if that is what you're referring to. So to avoid accidental purchases, you need to make sure that your device is protected all the time with a strong pin. Don't I've seen a lot of people use pattern locking on their devices. We recommend you use a pin which is strong enough, so that which is not easily guessable by people. I hope this answers your question. Kedar Sharma has asked us this question. I have viruses and malwares and some errors in my computer system, and I open any folder, new folder is already created. Kedar, I think this is something to do with malware infection to your computer. I recommend you use a a strong antivirus. If you would like any assistance, you can get in touch with a support team, and they will be able to help you, resolve your problem. We have another question from Malde. Madam, it says, can we use a cracked version of any software in place of a licensed version? Uh, Please refrain from using cracked versions or uncompromised versions of security software. The very basic reason why I say don't use them is these softwares lack security patches. So when you're talking about a patch version or a crack version of any software, this is basically a compromised version of the security software of the application that you're intending to use. Now, when you use a crack version of any software, and if there is a virus outbreak on that application, you are less likely to be protected because the software itself is compromised. And a lot of times, these people with malicious intent of controlling your device provide you freewares through which they can enter into your system, through which they can enter into your computer network and compromise not only your information but also the information in your network. So the bottom line is, do not use a cracked version of any software. Always go for a licensed version. Deepak Joshi has asked a question: is safe banking feature automatic in the Quick Heal Total Security? Well, Deepak, so to answer your question, the safe banking feature is present in the Quick Heal Total Security. If you go to the all programs in which you have the Quick Heal Total Security folder, there would be an option which says safe internet banking, and that will when you click on this, will open up a window. Now this is a secured browser. You can launch your browsers through this app. Any information you share using these browsers is safe, and safe from hackers and also from any malwares. Alok Moore has asked us a question. Please provide this webinar on email so we can have the same at our PC to refer to the same in future and as when required. Alok, this the recording of this webinar will be on YouTube, so it will be available for you 24 by 7. You can check this webinar on YouTube, and not just this one, but all our webinars in the past will be on YouTube, and you can refer to all the webinars in the past on YouTube at your leisure. Well, how does the browser sandbox works? Kundan Kumar has asked us this question. Browser sandbox is a feature where it provides you an additional layer of security. Now, the browser sandbox, when you're running your web browser in a browser sandbox mode, it gives you a secure browsing experience. If there is any program that gets executed on a click, browser sandbox adds an additional layer of screen there, and if any virus outbreak is even there, or if any malware is there which is just trying to uh, stay come on onto your computer, so if you're running it in the browser sandbox mode and you do not allow the file to enter your computer system, the moment you close the browser sandbox, the malware and everything in that browser sandbox is washed away. So your computer remains safe from any of these attacks if they are happening on your browser. I hope this answers your question. In case you need more information, you can visit our Quick Heal's website, or you can write to us at Corporate Communications. We'll get in touch with you, uh, on this email address, and we'll help you with more information. Some shopping web stores use credit card data for faster transactions. Is it safe or not? Devang Panchal has asked us this question. So if the shopping websites are storing your credit card information, it's if I'm correct, it's not the shopping websites that store that data for you. It's basically the bank through which you are doing the transaction that stores your credit card information. If the shopping websites are storing this information, they need to ask your permission before they store this credit card information. If you need to authenticate this to the bank. If you do not want them to store your information, there would be an option there. There would be an unchecked box where if you uncheck that box, it would not remember the password or the credit card number that you have entered while doing the transaction. Satish Patil has asked us a question. There is no survey slide today. It's very helpful for attendee to judge their knowledge level in the proper manner. So Satish, we had a lot many things to cover today, and that's the reason why we do not have opinion polls. But at the end of this webinar, you will be having a survey where you can fill in and let us know your opinion about today's webinar. What is the procedure of secure mapping? I think we've already answered this question. I think we have answered. We've covered a lot of these questions that have been asked. I'm getting a lot of questions about remembering passwords. I know it is something not convenient to do, but there are tricks and tips that I've already shared with you. You can do it that way. Everybody who loves music can have their favorite songs which they can use to create a password. People who are avid readers can use famous people's quotes or the name of the books or titles that they can use to create passwords. You can literally use anything that you that is your favorite, like a combination of names, a combination of letters from historic personalities that you are favorite, that are your favorite. You can use to create these passwords. Rajesh Singh has asked a question. He's asking how to keep our documents safe. Now, you can, if you are talking about storage, then you can always keep your documents safe by backing it up regularly on your external device, or you can also use a cloud solution to keep your documents safe. Uh, I think this would help you answer this question. Can acknowledgement hacked? Acknowledgement email is hacked. Deepak Joshi. Not sure, Deepak, you've asked us, can acknowledgements be hacked? Can acknowledgements when emails be hacked? I'm not sure what you're trying to ask here, Deepak, but if you're talking about email security, then any of your emails that you send or receive, these need to be from a trusted source. If those emails which come to you, you think are not from a trusted source, I would recommend you stay away from those emails and not interact with them. Say, for example, even if I have received an email from a trusted source, from a friend of mine who has reported something unusual to me, I would rather pick up a phone and call him and check with him as to whatever information is posted there is true, rather than clicking on a link provided in that email, because that might be a phishing link, and which might compromise the security of your device. So stay away from links. If you know your friend has shared something, just get in touch with him and just clarify. That is more secure way of doing it rather than you know clicking on unknown links which take you to unknown sites. Manjunath has asked us a question. He's asked, I'm using Windows 7, which is a licensed version. Can I enable Windows Update? Is it safe? Well, Manjunath, if you're using a licensed version of Windows 7, then you should definitely enable the Windows Update. See, when you're using a licensed version, you do not need to worry about these patches that are released by Windows is for your security. It's basically security patches where any of the vulnerabilities that they have discovered, which is basically covering up the loopholes into the system through which the hackers can gain advantage. So these security patches basically protect you from events where hackers might try to get into your system, or the security of your device basically gets compromised. So this is all to stop uh, all of this. How can I get information about someone accessing my Wi-Fi connection? Sangram Sankalp has asked this question. Where Sangram, if your Wi-Fi has a password, then nobody will be able to use your Wi-Fi without your password. So you need to make sure that your password, is not shared with people whom you don't want to use your Wi-Fi. They don't want. If you want to keep your Wi-Fi private to yourself, don't share your passwords. If you have shared, change the password. It's very important that you keep changing these passwords because this will just add another layer of security to your devices. Bikash Kar has asked us a question. I am saving my passwords in my pen drive. Is it safe to do? Please advise. Because we would recommend you not to save passwords anywhere or not to write down your passwords anywhere. If see basically if a pen drive is an external device, if that device itself does not have any protection or any does not have a read protection, then anyone can just get an access to your pen drive and your passwords are theirs then. So my advice, don't save or write down your passwords anywhere. Satish Patil has asked a question. Nowadays, XP is obsolete. How do you protect browsers from getting hacked or compromised? So, XP is not obsolete. In a way, Microsoft has stopped giving security patches to XP, but that does not mean that this software has become obsolete. If you need more information on securing your PC, which is running on a XP operating system, please get in touch with our support team and they will help you with your queries about using security software on XP. Subbaram has asked us a question whether it's safe for Chrome to remember passwords in social network sites. Well, to answer your question, Subbaram, it's not safe to save your passwords in your browsers because hackers compromise the browsers through which they get information about you, your passwords, or any of the information that you have stored in the browser, like your credit card details, your address details, everything. So don't save information on your browsers. The browsers get compromised and the information is lost. So the answer is no. In an Android phone, how to identify whether app is from trusted sources? Well, uh, if you go to any app on Android on Google Play, and before you install the app, there is information about the publisher of the app or the developer of the app. If you want to know more about that developer, use Google, and check for the reputation of that developer or that uh, author. If the author has a good reputation, you will get a good feedback about that author. But if there is something fishy, it will definitely be reported, and that is one way of doing it. Check with your friends and your family if somebody is using that app. If they are using it and they haven't encountered any problems there, then you can be a bit sure. But always remember, when you're using an app on Android, make sure you have a security software installed on your device. That adds to an additional layer of security. Rohit has asked us a question. Is it true that the antivirus companies themselves create viruses which can be killed only by their software, because of which their popularity increases? Rohit, this is not true. Uh, Antivirus companies basically devise a defense mechanism, and these cyber criminals who are interested in just gaining popularity, or they are interested in gaining your financial information for their advantage, create these kind of viruses. Just to give you a glimpse, at Quick Heal Threat Research facility, we test virus samples of close to 2 lakhs every day of the year. So on any given day, we test about 2 lakh virus samples, which are created by these cyber criminals, which compromise, basically want to gain advantage of, either they want to be popular or they want, your financial information, so they can get rich using that. I think we have covered all the questions for today. In case you have more questions, then you can definitely ask us or send us queries over email. Our email address is corporatecommunications@quickhill.co.in, and we will be more than happy to help you. As one, I'll just take one last question uh, from Bikash Kar. Okay, Mr. Kar has asked us a question. He's an elderly man and has dependencies on his family members. If someday something happens to him, how can the children know his passwords? Well, Mr. Kar, this is a different situation. Uh, See, if you're talking about financial transactions, if you're talking about your banking codes and passwords, well, you can always share these with the people whom you trust. Definitely, we say that. But when you say that, let me write it down somewhere or let me save it in my web browser because it is easy or convenient for me to do online shopping, uh, when you write down or when you store this information at unsecured locations, then the danger of the security getting compromised is always there. The danger of you losing that data is always there. But with your trusted sources, like your family members, those are the most trusted people you can have. You can always share that information with them. Okay, with your trusted, like I would always say, I have shared, my financial information with my wife, whom I trust the most. So likewise, if you have family members, you can definitely share information with them.
Is it safe to upload confidential files on Dropbox? Uh, well, if uh, you talk about these reputed sources, there was a news about Dropbox also being compromised. So I would say I would leave the choice to you to choose your medium of storing or sharing data. These days, if you are sharing data which is not confidential uh, or not finance related, never share your financial related data online over an email or over an instant messenger. No, don't do that. If you're sharing information which is not confidential over these sites, and if it is kind of public, it's okay. I mean, you can still go ahead and do it if it's not a confidential information, I would say that. Okay, I think we are done with all the questions for today. I would now hand over the proceedings to uh, uh, Saurabh to conclude.
Thank you everyone for being with us for this webinar. We hope the webinar helped you understand the 7 internet security mistakes in a better manner. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.